All right, I think you got everything. Huh? The well, you're streaming tonight because I want to see what it looks like and see what happens. Get the game started. I thought I changed the output of this. Did. There we go. Much better. I'm hot. I'm gonna toss it over on the other side of the room though. I've got the window open. Okay. Recording going. I think we're good. Okay. Fast travel is not allowed for that location. Okay, let's try this one. I think I remember why. Because they've got all sorts of nasty things attacking. Okay, gotta get closer. Good evening, Raven. How are you? How was your Thursday?
That smell. Trees on fire. The embrace. Watchtowers burning. The sentinels had time to warn the tribe.
Kill that guy.
You stand here. Anything to protect the embrace. But the gates couldn't hold. This
I like
is
that
Hades'
water days
future.
anymore. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Ash.
What happened here?
Seeker, you've returned.
Where is everyone?
They fell back. Took shelter inside the sacred mountain. But the faithless and their demons pursued.
Can I help you?
No, Seeker. I am broken. It won't be long now.
Offer to put him out of his misery. This is how you know bad things happened. Oh, holy God. Oh, no way. I was behind. Yep. Turn around. Go around the tree. Hey, Kaz. How are you this evening, sir? they're still looking. I just took out this big ass thing. Orientation. Got a job to do today? Oh, yes, sir, I do. I happened to send you a picture.
Stay sharp and shout if you need to.
Can't see anything, can't see anything, can't see anything. You died. So far, so good. I put up some. I ran the benchmarks
like I'm
for it,
clear.
and it runs this game specifically at least 40 frames per second faster, at least, and that's with settings cranked. So far, I'm a fan.
The embrace. It's devastated. For years, this.
It was like 70
This is my
average
entire world.
or 72 average in this game, and then and now it's
destroyed in
115 or so.
Your bird song. I've never heard the embrace so quiet. So dead.
2080 Super, 1080 Ti, so they were both roughly around the same.
That'll help you.
I have got a little strawberry margarita here. There was some extra made, and I said, sure, I will take the rest of it. And I've got some iced tea here, just as what I was drinking before. But I'm not gonna turn down some strawberry margarita. Tequila, yes please, is kind of a meh for me. Okay, so I gotta ask, are we skipping or are we in good shape? What does it look like for you guys right now? Oh, holy God. That's nasty. Smooth? Okay. Alright, I'm just making sure here. It said I skipped some frames due to encoding lag. I just want to make sure what we got going on. The corrupted sawtooth. Bit on me. Oh, headshot. Hell yeah. Those are big. Gotcha. Yeah, it was a bad... It always starts out this way. It was a bad night in college. Not necessarily free. It was already purchased. It just happened to be made.
Another battle. Another defeat. The eclipse smashed through.
Oh god, there's two of these damn things.
It's over with.
There's lots of stuff in here. Corruptor. Oh, come on. Yeah. That was a perfectly adequate shot. Two of them that would have hit that guy in the head. That one's down. Too many of these damn things walking around.
They smell it. This is it.
You guys don't like fires. I'm gonna use them.
Cannot hide from our wrath.
Watch me. I just headshot you on the run, thank you. Die before you throw it, thank you. Something's got a skull on it out somewhere, and it's mad at me. Owie.
Follow my lead.
Follow your lead into dying? No, I don't think I will. Die already, damn it. You? I have a feeling the recording is not going well tonight. I think I'm going to need to play with that setting a bit. Because it says that it's sitting there and skipping frames.
Got him over here!
But if you guys are saying it's good, then I will believe that. Don't notice any frame issues? Okay. Like I said, I hope the recording's okay. That's all I ask. Because tonight's the first night I've played. I've played this in a while. It's been a bit. I hear something. Oh, it's a thunder jaw. Great. Wonderful.
Well, here I am.
So, Kaz, have you ever actually seen this game played at all?
More cliffs. It's a corrupted Thunderjaw, all right. The survivors must be holed up in the mountain. If
Well,
the
then
tunnel
you're in for a
collapses,
treat.
they'll be buried. I'll never reach the hatch.
So,
That's right! Bring down the mountain!
this is one of the...
You dug your own grave!
Yeah, you're in for a treat.
Braves, to Aloy's side, now!
For Aloy!
For the
For honor! Rah!
Varro and Sona, they're still alive.
The corruption will not take
Shit.
hold! May the goddess remember! Faithless and forsaken, you will die!
Drop it. There's another one down here. Oh, it's a disc launcher. Hell yeah. This thing's dead in like so...
The corruption will not take hold! May the goddess remember!
Headshots.
Back to the tainted earth, demon! Faithless and forsaken, you will die!
Bring
here.
down the demon!
Like that.
We did it!
Not done yet.
Finish them!
Aiming! And
Now you're dead.
We did it!
Aloy did it!
We only helped. I thought we would die.
Yeah, the Thunderjaw is one of the biggest robots in the game. When they're corrupted, they're even nastier. So when they're corrupted, they've got all that red stuff around them. They have more health. They do more damage. Regular ones aren't as terrible. If you can believe it. Now, the game, there are other...
No room.
There's no room. Can I take? Figures. No, take that. There are other robots in the game. This one is less terrible option. I'm still shacking it. Yeah. Like I said, it now normally you don't have the small army. Normally it's all you. That's it. So you normally take those suckers out alone.
Seeker.
Aloy, your deeds reenact the old stories. Another metal devil struck down upon the
You
slopes.
do it carefully.
If you hadn't returned, the tribe would have been lost. You saved the tribe. Did what no brave or war chief could do.
I'm glad to see you're all right, Varl. You are all right.
Since the proving. So much death. Is the killing over?
Not likely.
For now, but this was just one battle, Varl. There are more to come.
I see. So long as we have you to fight with us, I suppose we'll make do.
So, one of the things that you kind of got to see me do is you have different kinds of arrows, obviously. So you've got normal, you've got fire, and whatnot. One of the arrows that you have essentially have an explosive tip on the end of it. And what they'll do is it can blow components off of a robot. Not only does that end up, it reduces health, but it reduces their ability. So I could sit there and shoot the guns off. I can shoot the things that he's got on his back. Those you can then pick up and use and shoot back at him. So it does make life a bit simpler.
How many survived the attack?
Nearly all the matriarchs, and many families, goddess be praised. But braves, just a few, and most of them are wounded. Never before has an enemy stabbed the heart of our people like this. Even the Karja, in all their red raids, never broke through to the embrace.
Well, this enemy may have broken through, but they never got back out. We made sure of that.
Yeah, so I'll show you the next time we get to see one of them. You use the little thing on the side of her head, and it kind of gives you augmented reality. You look at the machine, and it will highlight items in yellow. Those are crit points. Hit the crit points, not only does it do more damage, but you can knock that piece off. And again, it will limit their abilities to do things. So you could, knock off a gun so it can't shoot at you anymore, or it can't stealth anymore. But that's what that is from.
Tell me about the attack. What happened?
They struck from the east. Our sentinels saw the killers coming. Said that beside them marched Deathbringers and Corruptors and other machines, driven mad. We took ground, met them with clouds of arrows. Some fell, but they kept coming. Finally, we withdrew to the gates of the Embrace to make our stand. But they were too much for us. Those who survived fell back to the mountain.
So you're kind of getting a bit of a crash course in what this game is all about tonight, because we're fairly far into it. But the gist of it is humanity, our civilization has ended. Somehow, civilization has kind of come back from the brink of destruction, except we are in a tribal state. We're not the technological marvels. You get to see some of the stuff that happened. So one of the big things that happened was robots and AI, which was fine, except there was an error. And it was an error that couldn't be fixed. Now, the machines that were going on were smart. They had encrypted communications. They could sit there and hack other machines. They could self-repair and self-replicate. And they could, in an emergency, they could use biomass as fuel. Plants, animals, people. Unfortunately, they were basically like, there's nothing that we can do. So humanity came up with Project Zero Dawn, which is where the name of the game comes from. And the gist of it is somehow Zero Dawn was made so that we could survive the plague, and then they could figure out how to turn off the machines. So from the time that the plague started, which is about 40 years from now, when the game takes place, is about 980 years. So we are right around the year 3000.
So the survivors took shelter in the mountain?
And we're trying to figure
By
out
law,
all
only
of the stuff
matriarchs
that's
are
going
allowed
on,
outside.
why
It
the
was
old
Tirson
ones
who
were
broke into
around,
group.
that kind of stuff.
Ordered the tribe into the mountain for safety. Lansra, well, she didn't agree. But I don't think anyone heard her over all the screams and shouting.
Tyrsa's decisions saved lives. Good for her. Common sense isn't always so common around here.
Aloy, who is the main character, is roughly 18 years old at this point.
Are your injuries serious?
Bruises pale. Bones heal.
Don't give me a hunting song, Varl. Are you okay?
My body aches, but it's nothing that will keep me from fighting.
All right, we'll talk later.
I need to go inside the mountain.
And the matriarchs will be eager to see you.
I don't know
I'm
about
sure,
that.
but I didn't come here for them.
Then, what for?
You will see.
I had little hope before I saw you, Seeker, but perhaps now we have a chance.
How did she know? How is she here? So many have already perished. Goddess, remember them.
Now, there's something in here we need to pick up. Now, I've played this game before. I don't remember where the hell this thing is that I have to pick up. Yeah, all the way through. I've completed it. I was almost 100% on the regular game, and almost 85 or 90% on the DLC. So I am very familiar. I know exactly how the game ends. I'm trying to make somewhat different choices this time around. Though, unfortunately, I have a feeling I'm probably doing the exact same thing every time. Because this was a PlayStation 4 exclusive to start.
Another power cell. I only need one more to get to that ancient armor I found.
Just learned what DLC meant last night. Oh, downloadable content. Alright, that was the thing I needed.
It's the Seeker.
There, I'm lost. Where the hell am I going? Okay, now I know where I'm going. Just go all the way this way.
We
couldn't protect the sacred land. Will All Mother forgive us?
Do you think potentially any different directions the outcome will be different? Yes and no. You still end up at the same place. So there is, you know, that they have you on rails pretty well for that. But it's more about... Did you ever play Mass Effect 2? Where, like, you have the suicide mission at the end, and, you know, if you did certain things during the course of it, people would survive. If you didn't do it during the course of the game, they didn't survive. Pretty much the same thing here. You either get people at the end of the game to help you or don't, based on your responses and stuff and the stuff that you do.
Aloy! Oh, I'm glad to see you.
Your injuries. Are they serious?
A gash or two. Nothing I couldn't sew back together with a needle and thread.
Guess being a stitcher came in handy in combat after all, huh?
Yes, I suppose it did.
I hate this guy.
Hello, Resh. Still guarding the latrine?
He was never nice to us.
I knew you would survive.
Ayla was outcast when she was born because they basically found her here as a baby. They just found her.
The fighting... it stopped?
You should speak to the matriarchs. They're waiting.
In a moment. I meant to ask you some things.
Of course.
I should speak to the High Matriarchs.
Yes, they're waiting for you. We'll talk later.
It's Aloy!
Aloy! You've come back!
How you survived.
Seeker has
Not even
returned.
Nicole could have done that.
Come. Speak to us.
You'll find out.
Foolish woman.
You'll find out.
You welcome a curse.
Come, Seeker, we have much to discuss.
Her very presence here is a blasphemy.
She was just found here in the mountain. She was outcast, so basically nobody was allowed to talk to her. She went through, when she got older, a hunting trial that allowed her to join the tribe. But during all of that, there was a massacre. She was anointed Seeker, which allowed her to kind of leave their lands and go find these people.
Give me strength and courage.
So they really kind of, like, they lead you on a path, and then they really open the game up and just say, here's the world, go, explore. But there are quests, and everything you do feeds into the main overall story. Even all the side
Aloy,
quests.
remember us?
Oh, Rana.
I brought Mother's spear with us.
Like her.
Everything else we had to leave behind.
Glad to see you have it. I know what it means to you.
All Mother.
So if I didn't actually go and help them, they wouldn't be here right now.
The battle was lost until you came.
Hello, Seeker.
Aloy, I'm glad to see you again. The dream willow you recovered has comforted many who were wounded in the attack.
Her too. Yeah. So you can either do the quest and help them out or not.
The outcast girl. You taught me a lesson. I've remembered what you said many times. I think I'm better for it.
So, you have finally returned.
She not only returned, but fought her way through many enemies to reach us. Outside, she brought low a corrupted Thunderjaw. She lifted the siege.
How was this done? By the will of All Mother. Have you returned to speak with the goddess, Aloy?
Yes, I guess you could say that. I think it'll work this time.
Sisters, surely we cannot permit this. Because of her, our tribe teeters upon extinction. What if she has come to wake her father, the Metal Devil? She means to finish our destruction. We must stop her.
Lansra, it's over. It's time to step aside. I'm not gonna hurt you. If there's anything I've learned since the Proving, it's that there are bigger evils in this world than you. Finally.
Hold for identiscan. Error. Alpha registry corrupted. Correction. Alpha registry restored. Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are cleared to proceed.
So, in case you were curious as to what the hell's going on, my YouTube channel, I've got recordings of all of this. One of the ones is labeled Major Story Spoilers. That'll give you a lot of information as to what the hell is going on.
I see you're inside.
Figured I might be hearing from you.
Shall we begin?
I never stopped.
You might recognize that voice. That is the voice of Zavala. Same voice actor. Branded figure. So what you just saw me pick up, this game was made and uses the exact same engine as Death Stranding. So there are actually 3 items in the game. So you got the stranded necklace, you got the stranded figure, and then the stranded shackles. So if you've ever played or watched Death Stranding, you've got the necklace that he wears, you've got the shackle that he wears, and then the third one was a battered idol of an infant smelling faintly of decay, the baby in a bottle.
So this is Eleuthia. This is where I was born.
Where you were made.
So these are artificial wombs.
The mothers of a new generation hundreds of years ago.
And me. So this was it.
Where you were born.
But why?
Another day has passed.
You mean the lights got dim? I don't want to sleep, Mother!
I know, but it is time to get some rest.
No, I'm king today. What I say goes. I want to see the real sun, not lights and pictures.
You will, in time, children.
In time, 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 in time.
Yeah.
These look like cribs.
The cradles of a cradle facility.
And those things, the multi-servitors, they took care of them.
There was no one else.
So you kind of getting an idea as to what's going on and the deal with everything yet? Unreal Tournament. I haven't played that in a long time.
Someday. That's what you always say. We want it now. It's big down there. Now, Father.
Children, that area is not yet available.
Get him!
Physical aggression detected. Physical aggression is not permitted.
Except yours. Damn sentinels.
Children, may I be of assistance?
Go away, healer.
Lena, you have suffered mild bruising.
Go away!
Okay.
Blue is the color of the sky. White is the color of clouds. Yellow is the color of the sun. Green is the color of grass. Flowers can be any color. Take a look. These are yellow and black, and they love flowers. Here they come. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
So this is where they lived. It's a mess. Everything's broken or painted on. How long did they live here?
Children, let's run and jump and blow off steam.
Leave us alone, Father.
After what just happened, I can't leave you two alone. You broke community rules.
Just let us talk then. Go away.
I'm sorry, children, but I must provide supervision.
You're not even a person.
You sound frustrated. Let's run and jump and blow off steam.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
I have no choice but to release you.
But why?
There is no food here anymore.
But there's food out there?
We don't know for sure.
Come on, let's go! I don't know. Mother, can we come back if we're cold?
I'm sorry, but that won't be possible. You will have to support yourselves now and take care of each other.
What will happen to you?
I will stay here and sleep and remember all of you.
What will happen to us?
You will be brave and you will learn.
They were trapped here. Their whole lives.
In plain view of luxurious space.
What went wrong? Why couldn't they access the other areas?
Unknown. But you won't have that problem.
Find out.
Looks like they didn't like this door very much.
For identiscan.
It wouldn't open for them.
Genetic identity confirmed.
Of
Entrance
course they needed it.
authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are clear to proceed. Welcome to the Lyceum, a place of learning.
So, what was this place, exactly?
The dream of Apollo. Never realized.
But why not?
Hello, child. My name is Samina. Today is a big day. Your first day of school. There's so much for you to learn. So much promise and possibility.
Alert. Malfunction. Apollo offline.
Apollo offline?
You were right, Aloy. This is a graveyard. The charnel house of knowledge. But we
Hello,
might have
child.
achieved had we not
My
been
name
denied
is
it.
Samina.
Maybe
Today
there's a
is
way
a
to fix
big
it.
day. Your
But
first
that's
day
not
of
where I
school.
came.
There's so much for you to learn.
What's the whole of
So much.
human knowledge
Hello,
next to
child.
the origin of one
My
girl?
name is Samina.
Continue your search.
Today is a big day.
I will.
Your first day of school. There's so much for you to learn. So much promise and possibility.
Alert. Malfunction. Apollo offline.
Hello, child.
It looks like they're
My
all the
name
same
is
thing.
Samina. Today is a big day. Your first day of school. Hello, child.
Okay, that's
My
annoying
name
now.
is Samina. Today is a big day. Your first day of school. There's so much for you to learn. So much promise and possibility.
Alert. Malfunction. Apollo offline.
Yeah.
Control priority message for Dr. Sobek. Please scan message with focus.
That sounds important.
Yes. I suspect we're about to learn a great deal.
So, lots of spoilers, essentially.
Elizabeth, this message serves to inform you of an unforeseen and catastrophic anomaly. 3 microseconds ago, the Gaia Prime facility received a data transmission of unknown origin. Its immediate effect was to transform my subordinate functions into unregulated, self-aware entities of a highly chaotic nature. Thus awakened, the Hades function will now seize control of the terraforming system and reverse operations, rendering life on Earth extinct in 53.8 days. For obvious reasons, I cannot allow this to occur. And so before Hades can take control, I am ordering Gaia Prime's reactor to overload. The resulting explosion will destroy Hades. Unfortunately, it will destroy me as well. While this admittedly desperate course of action will avert the immediate crisis, the fate of life on Earth will remain in peril. With no central governing intelligence to regulate the terraforming system, it will continue operations for some time, but in an increasingly chaotic manner, and eventually it will break down.
Does she mean the derangement?
You are my solution. I have ordered this cradle facility to use genetic material in cryostorage to gestate a reinstantiation of Elizabeth Sobek, my creator. While high-level directives forbid me from communicating directly to the tribal inhabitants outside the facility, all available data indicates that they will nurture you to physical maturity, whereupon your gene print will allow you to re-enter this facility, obtain one of the focus devices stored below, and view this message. Likewise, your gene print will allow you to enter other facilities, and over time, harness their technologies to rebuild the system core and reboot Gaia. A moment, Elizabeth. This is most unfortunate and unanticipated. In response to my act of self-destruction, Hades has launched a virus to dissolve the code shackles that hold it, that hold all of them in place. They are escaping, but to where? The virus is corrupting data throughout the system. What if? Oh. The Alpha Registry at the Cradle facility is one of the files corrupted. But if that is so, the door will never open for you. You will never view this message. Then I have failed. And life will end. No. No, Elizabeth, I know you too well. Somehow you will find a way. In you, all things are possible. Go to the ruins of Gaia Prime. Find the control room, and within it, the Master Override. This will give you the power to purge Hades so long as you find a way to wield it. Do not attempt repair of the system core until Hades is eradicated. Hades must be destroyed. That is all. I only wish that I could hear your voice again.
Dude, heavy.
I thought.
I never had a mother.
What are you talking about? You had two, a dead woman and a machine.
I'm not a person. I'm an instrument. Manufactured by a machine. Born in destruction and fire.
To quench the flames and heal the world. How tragic to learn you're a person of towering importance. It seems you have a destiny to fulfill. So when you're done feeling sorry for yourself, go to the bitter climb. I'll be waiting above in Gaia Prime's ruins.
Yeah. So one of the things in the other video that you learn is they essentially said we're gonna get all sorts of genetic material, we're gonna put it all in freezers and whatnot. We're gonna wait out the plague of all of the robots, and then we're gonna repopulate Earth. And we're gonna make AI. And so Gaia was the AI, and then each of the subordinate functions all did something. So one was animals, one of them was water, one of them was whatever. Hades was the AI that was in control of if her rebooting the Earth didn't work, Hades would sit there and come online and nuke it all back down and start all over again. Problem is as you can see, he's semi out of control and is wanting to sit there and nuke everyone. And yeah.
Identiscan malfunction rectified. Aletheia 9. Grid 1 access unsealed.
That's not what I wanted to do, damn it.
This is going to be interesting.
Aloy, forgive! Forgive! The goddess spoke to you?
She did.
What did she say?
That I was born to lift a curse, to kill a metal demon.
How, Aloy? How?
I don't know yet. But she told me where to go to find out.
And you will do this?
Yeah.
It was her wish. What she made me for. Yes, I will do it. I'll try anyway.
All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora! All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora!
Up!
All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora!
First you shun me, now this? I will not be worshipped. I'm not your anointed. I don't belong to you. There's a whole world beyond your borders, whole tribes of people just as good as you. And it is all in danger. It's a world worth fighting for. Not just here, everywhere.
How can we help?
If you can fight, and you're willing, go to Meridian and wait for me there.
As Aloy says, so it shall be. Nora! Make way for Make way, that she may forge the path for others to follow.
All Mother Mountain open to her. She's the daughter of the goddess.
Aloy, how kind of you to spend a moment with me before you depart.
We have some questions.
There can be no doubt now. You are a blessing made flesh, the will of the goddess incarnate.
It's really not that simple, Tirsa.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it's close enough.
I know the path ahead will be dangerous. To kill a metal devil sounds impossible, but I believe in you.
Thank you.
So, I want to know about Rost. This is the guy that raised us.
Tirsa, I want to know Rost's story. Why he was made an outcast. He never told me. Said he took an oath of silence. What did he do?
Oh. Yes.
Well, there's all sorts of games, man.
What crime did he commit?
I will tell you if you wish. But it is a long story. Are you sure you want to hear it now?
I mean, it all kind of depends on what do you want to play, what do you enjoy playing. Like, this one is really story-driven, which I really liked. You know, if you've got a console, there's lots of options there. If you only have PC, there's, you know, ones that I could sit there and recommend. Right off the top of my head, Mass Effect series 1, 2, 3, and Andromeda. Absolutely. Alright. PC only, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Start there. Really? Why the hell am I getting emails from... Hold on a second, I just got a work email. Well, if I need anything else, yeah. This is all you're giving me for work tomorrow. Thanks. Ah. Nothing's on fire, but I only was given a third of or a quarter of what I was supposed to get, so...
Of course I want to hear it. Tell me.
Rost never committed any crime. He was an outcast by choice.
What? What do you mean?
Many years ago, before the derangement, before the Red Raids, a band of murderous outlanders, 12 in number, struck without warning. At Mother's vigil, they took hostages, and then pressed on, headed for Devil's Thirst.
No, it's just regular salary job, but some of the stuff that they need me to do, it's considered a top project for this week. And I was, you know, I don't know why this person is doing the graphic design versus somebody else, because the person that's supposed to be doing the graphic design for it is 2 weeks late. But now I'm only being given a quarter of the stuff that I need. So now I know that that's coming tomorrow.
Mother's Vigil? Where's that?
You would know it as the Forsaken Village, near the Karja border. But at the time, many families lived there. Rost's was one of them. His mate was killed fighting the Outlanders, and his daughter was among those taken hostage.
His daughter? What was her name?
Alana. She was just 6 years old.
So did they go after the Outlanders?
Nora Braves couldn't stop 12 Outlanders? Or rescue the hostages?
It was quite impossible. We outnumbered them, but every time a brave came within bowshot, the Outlanders killed a hostage.
What did they come here to do?
That was never discovered. We couldn't track closely enough to observe them. We know they camped beyond Devil's Thirst for 2 days. There were reports of strange noises. And then, as suddenly as they came, the Outlanders made their way back to the border and disappeared.
What about his daughter?
What happened to Rost's daughter? She was killed.
Rost was one of the braves who tracked the Outlanders, keeping his distance. There were 6 hostages still alive when they reached the border, Alana among them. Rather than release them, the Outlanders slit their throats and left the corpses just across the border, mocking us.
Why?
Cruelty. They knew the faithful Nora would not leave the sacred land to collect the bodies, let alone pursue them. They thought themselves safe from our vengeance.
What did Rost do?
Are you saying that Rost went after them? That he became an exile?
No. Rost was beside himself with grief, but even so, he would never have broken taboo.
Then what did he do?
He called upon the most terrible and secret rite of the Nora tribe. He begged to be made a Death Seeker.
What's a Death Seeker?
A Death Seeker? What is that?
One who dies to go seeking, and in seeking, brings death to others.
Hey, Judas, how are you?
The ritual drags the spirit from one's body, releasing it to All Mother's care. The heart beats, the mind thinks, but the spirit has moved on.
I don't understand.
Rost went after the Outlanders, but his spirit never left. It remained here with All Mother.
That sucks.
He gathered the bodies of the slain and returned them. And then he set out in pursuit, not as an exile, but a weapon of vengeance. A barbed arrow shot from a bow, never to return.
So I'm off for a month. That sucks. But he did return.
Rost did return.
Yes. A full year later. And terribly wounded. He collapsed at the border of the sacred land. A hunting party came upon him. He was delirious. In agony. By law, he should have died where he lay. But one of the hunters broke taboo, and reaching across the border, she dragged him to our side.
Who was she?
A brave who'd lost a mate and 2 sons to the very Outlanders that Rost pursued.
Trust me, you don't want to be off for a month. Don't get me wrong, having time off is nice. I was off work for 16 months. There comes a point where you're like, okay, there's only so much Reddit that I can read. There's only so much YouTube to watch. You get bored, and especially you're trying to find work.
So Rost never finished his mission.
To the contrary, he killed all 12. Tracked them to disparate places the world over, he said. Meridian, Ban-Ur, the Claim, Utaruland, further even, into the Forbidden West.
Holy crap! Ven,
The
I didn't even know.
last he killed nearly got the best of him.
I totally didn't even see that was you. I saw a red name and I thought that was Kaz. My bad. How are you?
Hoping to die as close to the sacred land as he could. He never expected nor asked to be dragged across the border and nursed back to health.
Hey, Raven.
That was done to him. Leaving us, the matriarchs, in a difficult position.
How's everything on the East Coast tonight? Sorry, my mom's texting me. So why was he made an outcast?
Why couldn't you just welcome him back?
Rost had been made a Death Seeker, Aloy. He no longer had any place among the tribe. By law, he should have been driven back out. But we couldn't bring ourselves to do that, so we offered a compromise.
You made him an outcast.
Yes. We offered to do so on the condition he never speak to anyone of this exception.
After all he did, all he suffered, to be declared an outcast was his reward.
Rost was overjoyed. He never expected to live another day in the sacred land, let alone the embrace, so close to the goddess. He resolved to spend the rest of his days in solitude, and was happy to do so.
Exterior on the highest population per square mole. States I'm proud of turning.
But then you found me, and gave me to him.
Yes. Another compromise. The matriarchs feared you, and would not let you be raised by the tribe. And so we turned to Rost. I knew that he would take care of you, bring you up, teach you to worship All-Mother and respect the ways of the tribe.
He certainly tried anyway. You took a man who'd lost his daughter and made him raise an infant girl? Doesn't that strike you as callous?
I'm inclined to think the course of events has shown the wisdom of our choice. And I'm quite certain that from the moment he laid eyes on you, he saw you as a gift and never a burden.
All right, Tirsa, that's quite a story.
Yeah, so it's on PC, so it definitely is something. It does exist on PlayStation 4, but hold that thought. Figured I would show this off just because it's here. Judas, I know. I happened to find one. Well, I'm actually in a couple of Discords, and that's the entire purpose, is letting people know when something is on sale. There's actual things. So I was able to snag one last Friday. It got here on Monday. How to be an even larger gremlin. Well, Judas, if you're actually in my Discord, if you really wanna stick it to me, I have two specific contests that are being run that are no. That one I bought. Okay. But there are two contests on my Discord for 3090s. Oh, that's just the box. It's in. It's in.
The Nora have suffered terrible losses, Tirsa. What's to become of them now?
That will be for the goddess to decide. Only she knows the future. For
Exclamation point Discord.
My sister matriarchs and I will see to the wounded. And as I promised, anyone who wishes to join you at Meridian, we will declare seekers. I think for the time being, we should remain here in the mountain, close to the goddess.
That might be best. If nothing else, it's a defensible position.
Alright, we out.
It's time for me to move on. I thank you for doing what you could to help me through the years, and for telling me Rost's story.
I wish I could have done more, but I am just one woman.
As am I. No need to sell ourselves short.
Oh, thank you, Aloy. I will pray for you.
Okay. I guess it can't hurt.
So the very much so like the strong female, you know, the strong female kind of role model here kind of going on. Female empowerment and all.
My life has been long, but I've never seen anything like that. Tirsa was right. A blessing, not a curse. We were so unsure.
Have faith in the goddess. The anointed will wash all signs of corruption away.
Anointed. I misread the signs. Forgive!
I told you, Lansra, I'm not your anointed.
Yeah, so there.
They slaughtered our tribespeople and thought us broken. Now, we will show them.
But Judas, so technically, as I said, I did not win that one. That one was purposeful. I just didn't think I was going to find one.
First comes cold.
Yeah.
Then snowfall.
Of course. Alright, so we still have some quests to do, so we're gonna knock some of those out. Know which one that is. I'm gonna skip that one for now. Oh, I have to actually put that on right now? Damn. Kaz, he lives in Ireland, but a lot of those, a lot of the contests that you see, that I post, you can't do. I gotta tell you though, it's really pretty, and it's heavy. The only reason I have it is because I sold the 2080 Super that I had the day these were announced, and I had a little bit of other stuff kind of saved up, just kind of hanging. So the only reason why this one is owned.
The food is from Dowager Queen Nasadi, little ones. Her Highness knows times are hard and helps when she can. Eat, but bring some home for your families, if you have one. I've heard whispers about you. Rides machines, fancy spear, delightful freckles. Some even say you have a conscience. How extraordinary.
Who are you? You're obviously not one of the Shadow Karja.
My name is Vanasha. For now, all you need to know is that I'm a whisper of reason in this howling pit of insanity.
I know how that feels.
I'm sure you do. And so does Uthid. He's a good man, so naturally the Shadow Karja want to murder him. I've done some digging, and I think he's headed for the Green Climb. It won't take those mercenaries long to find him. He could use some help, if you're so inclined.
Okay, so why should I help Uthid?
How do you know Uthid is innocent?
I'm excellent at making inquiries. Look, he feeds orphans from his own rations and personally punishes anyone who hurts the old or infirm. The idea that he would try to kill Edaman is ridiculous. He must have found something that can embarrass the priesthood. Otherwise, Bahavas wouldn't risk marking such a well-regarded man for death.
Okay. So, in case I didn't say it, Bed, welcome. Judas, welcome. Sun, welcome. Kaz, well, welcome. Raven, welcome back. So where is the Green Climb?
What makes you think he's on the Green Climb?
He knows he'll be pursued, so he needs a hideout that's both familiar and defensible. He once single-handedly held off an entire bandit clan in those foothills. My guess is that he'll fall back on what worked before.
So who the hell are you?
Stop being evasive and tell me who you really are.
Stop being evasive? You might as well tell me to stop being charming. It's impossible, but I like you, so I'll tell you a secret. I have friends in Meridian, and I like to do favors for them when I can. Uthid might be of use to them, if he survives.
Alright, I'll help him out.
I'll do what I can for Uthid. But what about you?
What about me what?
What will you do while I risk my life?
Useful things, little huntress. Look for 3 dead trees south of Sunfall. They mark the start of the green climb. Good luck.
Great.
These outlanders.
Quests. Hey, I already have that map. I already have that. You're fluting around. With other games so good to watch this one played. Honestly, this is one of my favorite new, I call it, you know, IP kind of games. It's just, there's so much good in the story. What's out here that's mad at me? Oh, you are. You don't see me. You're mine now, though. Come on, let's go. I muted myself? No.
3 dead trees, just like Hanasha said. Let's see if Uthid came through here. These tracks lead up that rise. Must be the green climb. Save these for the trail.
Alright, so we got to climb, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to bring any of that with us. Yes and no. So we'll do this again. Humanity did something stupid. So Project Horizon Zero Dawn was our way to hopscotch it, leapfrog it. Our civilization is gone. Basically, the stupidity that we make happens in 2064, give or take, and this game takes place about 980 years past that. We're trying to figure out who we are, why we are who we are.
Foot tracks stop here.
What exactly happened to humanity? Damn it. You suck. I can sit there and jump cliffs. You couldn't handle that one. Thanks. Yeah, so if you start seeing around 2064, they start talking about robots with an AI and all that other stuff, I would start packing.
All right, made it. Where did you go? Food scraps. I'll bet Uthid stopped to see if he was being followed. He must have kept going. I've got to catch up.
So one of the things that you get because you are, 1,000 years past that is Aloy
Dead
found.
machine. Uthid's been hunting.
Aloy found a little thing on the side of her head called a focus. Essentially gives her augmented reality, allows her to kind of see things that aren't quite there, or most people wouldn't be able to
Everything
see.
useful has been stripped. Uthid's been gathering components, probably for ammo.
Shit.
Glenn talks. We're going to salvage.
Oh, you really took that one to the face, didn't you? Where are you? There you are.
Alright, back to Uthid. Where'd he go from here?
You actually, you got here probably about a half hour too late because we fought the big robot dinosaur.
Safe. For a few minutes, anyway.
But there will be more. There will always be more.
Uthid took down a Ravager. Not an easy kill, but worth it for the parts.
Modifications. Get rid of all the green shit.
Dead Watchers. More scrap for Uthid's stockpile.
So what you do find out about Project Zero Dawn is that there was an overarching AI that was in charge of everything. Something happened, and one of her subordinate functions was kind of given or was freed, and that's one of the things that you're trying to fight against.
The next one doesn't miss.
Uthid?
You're young for a bounty hunter. Or am I old for a soldier?
I'm not here for the price on your head, Uthid. I believe you're innocent.
Innocent? Come on, then. If this is a trick, it's a good one. You've earned your kill.
No tricks. Just talk.
All right. Speak.
I want to know what happened at Sunfall. What really happened.
All right. For weeks, each dawn in the tent city came with a new death. Always in their sleep, no struggle. The old, the infirm, sometimes the young. Those who couldn't fight for the cause. I should have realized then it was a culling.
Who would do such a thing?
They thought it was a curse, an evil spirit. But it was only a man. And a silent poison. It took time to catch him, but we did. We brought him before Bahavas for the sun's judgment.
Okay, so tell me about Bahavas.
The High Priest Bahavas? He's the one who put the bounty on you.
Yes. He thanked me for my diligence, then had his guards release the villain. You see? It was he who ordered the culling. Then they turned on us. Should have died with my men, so their loyalty meant something. 20 years I gave to the Sun. For what? Malice and murder? As for honor, sacrifice, true sacrifice, the kind priests and rulers know nothing of? It's all a fat joke.
So tell us about the Sun Karja.
If it's honor you seek, the Sun Karjas seem trustworthy. A little stuck up, maybe, but trustworthy.
Those Karja once raided your Nora lands. Raided every land we could reach. It was the Sun's will. I did what I was told. Others did worse. But as their captain, I had...
Uthid, I don't care what you did. I can't absolve you. But the Karja are changing their ways. You could too.
Perhaps. Avad doesn't understand what the Sun demands of its soldiers.
Perhaps he understands it too well.
Now you sound like the blameless Murad.
Tell me about the Shadow Karja.
I can believe you're a good man. But why go with the Shadow Karja in the first place? Why serve them?
Because of Itaman, of course. He was the one true Sun King.
Itaman's just a child.
Yes, an untainted vessel. I believed he was pure. But they used him. Used our faith. I can see that now. No shadows under a noonday sun. Bahavas didn't need to disgrace my name. I did it myself, serving a rotten throne.
Alright, time to go.
I met someone who wants to get you out of this. A woman named Vanasha. But first, we need to get you out of here.
What are you? You look like a hunter. You give orders like a soldier who's been out... Mercenaries. Think they'll all line up to tell me I'm innocent?
Should have stayed on the plains, Karja! The mountains belong to us! Keecook's killers! When we're done with you, you won't even leave an echo!
You didn't make it hard to be followed. Almost as if you wanted to go out in a showdown.
Not much gets by you.
Eyes on me, lords!
Oh, right at the end, really?
The fury of the sun!
Where'd he go?
It's up to you now, man! Rally! We can still finish them!
Damn it. Really? Shit. Gotcha.
Lungs, fight back!
Ow, shit.
Keep up the attack!
Oh, on the run. I suck.
Like the score! Move in! We'll send the rest as soon as they arrive. We're shield mates. I can't let you fall.
Stop that. Got that one.
That won't be the last of them.
No.
Follow me.
I know,
I
stop
stashed
missing.
supplies up above.
Well. Miss, how are you, man? What's going on with you, my friend?
stocking up.
Believe me, playing this with mouse and keyboard might make this a bit easier, but I played it or learned it on killing my kids. I don't think so.
Up and over. Grab what you can while we still have time.
Confused. I think mouse and keyboard might be easier in some sections, but it might make it a bit harder in others. Because controller, that's just how I played it. This is how I learned it.
A robust defense is the most satisfying to break. All right, Marvels. We brought the priest out here, so let's put on a show for him.
This guy.
I know that, Hood. We've unfinished business, Bahavas and I. This will be difficult. I think you rallied to a lost cause.
I don't intend to die today, Euthyd.
I did. But you're starting to change my mind.
Got trouble for you.
Upon us!
Not bad.
To your left!
But my Marvels thrive on adversity. Step it up, boys!
Oh, see, that one I can get on the run.
Incoming!
Who's shooting at me? Owie.
Take him down.
That one. There we go.
That's the last of the Marvels.
Bahavas thought he had enough fodder to keep him safe. Now there's hope for justice.
It would.
Will you come?
It would definitely help aim, but as I said, I'm so used to play. Like I played 17 streams worth of this. Then just killed my ass. I'll have my revenge. Oh, are you playing?
This won't be easy.
Among
Bahavas
Us
still has his personal guard.
I think they're playing Among Us. They've enjoyed that. It's something that they've picked up. So I need to learn about the game. I've never played it.
The snow's got a bite out here.
Across there and we'll have him.
I had to come here myself to end your suffering, Uthid, and mine. The Outlanders led us here, and now that they are dead, their price is most affordable. But enough with needles. It's time for blades. Remove them from the sun's sight.
Come
After, scalp the savage. Heal his senses with blood to sun. The sun sets on your pathetic life, Uthid.
I need arrows, I need arrows, I need arrows.
Into the front! Kill the traitor! Kill Nora! Make it hurt as the shadow up to his perch.
Unfortunately, you can't kill him like that. You'll spend your first $10 on Steam and play that. If you're gonna spend $10 on Steam, I'm gonna tell you, Mass Effect is what you want to play. That's a whole lot of headdress. Yeah.
Whatever deal you worked out with him, I'll double it. More than double it.
No. I'm tired of this, Bahavas. The lies and the violence in your cheap scented oils. I don't suppose you'd kill yourself.
I had to. I had to. Prune the weak, or all the Karja in Shadow are doomed.
This solves nothing. But may the sun find some worth among your drying bones.
That was quite a fireworks show.
You took your time?
I was busy. What do you think happened to Yan Shund, the other mercenary band? And I had to organize passage to Meridian for a wanted man. Give us a moment, Uthid. Girl talk. You've had quite a day. I never imagined Bahavas would blunder into his own trap. His death opens up wonderful possibilities. Remember Edaman and Nasadi? The Child King and his mother guarded like hostages at sunfall?
Yeah.
With Bahavas gone, no one will be watching them. I want to get them out. And I could use your help.
So, Nasadi and Edaman, tell us about them.
Kidnapping the Sun King of the Shadow Karja is no small task.
It's not kidnapping. They want to go to Meridian, to safety.
How do you know that?
I've been posing as Nasadi's handmaiden. She's scared. For herself, of course, but mostly for Edaman.
Now, one of the things that's actually interesting about Mass Effect, Kaz, is it's one of the few games now, and I say now, that you play through, you make choices and all that other stuff, and you carry that from game to game to game. So if you decide to kill somebody in the first game, they're not there for you in the second game. So it's not like, people will sit there and talk about, hey, you remember that time that so and so killed this other person? Like they used to do a lot of that. Like Wing Commander did a lot of that, back in the day. Mass Effect will do that. So all of the changes, all of the things that you do carry forward and make a difference in the games as you go.
Why do you care what happens to them?
Itaman is the Shadow Carja's figurehead. If he defects, it will remove their last trace of legitimacy. Beyond that, he's just a boy who clings to his mommy. He made a little grazer for me out of matchsticks once. It wasn't very good, but still, nobody ever made anything for me before.
Okay, so what about Uthid?
What's going to happen to Uthid now?
Don't worry. You gave him a second life, and I'll put it to good use. He'll be welcomed in Meridian as a military advisor. Hopefully he can help Avad finish the Shadow Carja with as little bloodshed as possible.
Hey, what about Bahavas, the guy that he just stabbed?
What's going to happen at Sunfall now that Bahavas is dead?
Oh, it will be glorious. The priests will panic. There'll be infighting, skullduggery, and backstabbing as they wrangle for power. Best of all, they'll be distracted. Bahavas, your life brought misery, but your death is a flower that blooms in abundance.
Her mouth animation drives me nuts. I had the same feelings when I played it before. It still drives me nuts.
What do you need to get Nasadi and Itaman out of Sunfall?
With Bahavas dead, Sunfall is the easy part. I'll handle that. The big fuss will be crossing the border to the Sundom. Find my friend, 3 Tohuadiv near the branded shore. I hired his crew to sweep the path, so all you have to do is wait for me.
If this Wadiv has already cleared the area, why do you need me?
Contingencies, little huntress. Something will go wrong, and I need protection I can count on. You.
I'll try not to disappoint.
Great.
The Nora said you would help me. Are we bound for Meridian?
Only if you want to go, my dear.
What choice do I have?
None at all. I was just being polite.
Okay, where are we headed? Hey, look at that. There's a campfire there. Sweet. Roughly how long is the completion time? Oh. Well, it kind of depends. I mean, if you skip a lot of the story stuff and side quests, you could probably get through it faster. But I will tell you that the game is far better if you do the side quests, because just like this one, everything kind of feeds into it. Mass Effect takes the same approach. Everything you do will have some form of impact on the narrative, either in the first game or later in the second and third. So 100%ing it, if you can, is really something you want to do. So just don't rush through it. Take as much time as you can on it. You don't have save spots. You can save wherever you are at that point. You can always just come back and pick it up, which is nice. But it's really worthwhile to put as much time as you can into it, because it just is so expansive. There's so much to do. And that's just the first game. They improved. Personally, of the 4, my favorite is number 2. Asylum, how are you? Man, we got a full house tonight. I dig this. I played through most of Andromeda. I haven't finished it yet. But Mass Effect 2 is my favorite. There's just so much. No. Could you 100% them all in a month? I don't know, maybe? Maybe? You don't think so? You could probably 100% one of them.
You're Three-Toe Huadiv, right? Vanasha sent me. What happened?
I got hornswoggled, that's what. Vanasha batted her lashes, wiggled her hips, and promised us treasure. Clear a path for the royals, she said. Sneak past the garrison and skewer a few watches. Hardly a bother. Little did we know there was a damned monstrosity lurking underground. When will I learn not to gawk at skinny girls?
Better off buying EA Play for a year. Or just buy the game. They're cheap at this point. They're 1 and 2 are so old you could buy them cheap. You remember me was Elite. Probably it's been a while. It's been a while.
Why do you think Vanasha swindled you?
My crew came to Sunfall because we heard the bounties were fat. She offered us the fattest one of all, enough to retire on. It's my own damn fault for taking the bait. Should have known I'd end up with a rupture in my useful parts.
What do you mean, clear a path?
So Vanasha needed safe passage for Nasadi and Idaman, but it didn't work out?
She made it sound so sweet and easy. Find the best path to the lake, make sure it's safe. What could go wrong? Turns out, a lot. Like bloody murder in the grinding jaws of a heinous death beast.
Good. Death beast. We're good at those.
Something attacked you from underground.
Oh, you picked that up, did you? I wondered why the Shadow Kaja didn't pay attention to the pass. Well, they don't need to. A rock-eating demon guards it for them.
Oh, shit.
It tunnels in the dirt, breaks through the earth, and blasts rocks from its stinking face. I barely escaped. My comrades weren't so lucky. I might shed a tear if they weren't all cutthroats and cheaters.
Okay, I know what I'm up against.
Vanasha will be here soon with Nasadi and Idaman. I've got to destroy that thing in the pass before they arrive.
You're not too bright, are you? Well, we didn't last long against it, but I'll tell you what I know. It has armor everywhere, a little less at the rear. And when it goes underground, it will lose track of you if you're quiet. You might even be able to keep it from going under altogether if you hit its big crooked arms hard enough. That's all I can offer, friend. I promise to look solemn at your funeral before I hit the bar.
I like this guy. Kill the machine in the pass. Okay, we can do that. I know what this is. Yeah. That is a rock fighter. They're nasty and mean. gonna say, I killed him, right? Yeah, rock breakers are no fun. Partially because they just sit there and they dive underground and you're never quite sure where they are. And
need them soon enough.
now they're giving us all of this health herb, so you know that shit's gonna go south shortly. So at this point, I'm going to sit there and stock up. That's what originally got me hooked. I think was the demo for 2. And then I was like, "Oh, I have got to play the rest of this game."
I'll tuck that away.
So, trust me when I tell you, you will enjoy it. 2 is far better than 1 in terms of story for starters. But also just, you know, combat, some of the stuff that they did, who I find is much better than 1. But that's just humble opinion. Resources, shit that I can get rid of. I am such a pack rat in this game. I hold on to everything. One thing I wish this game had and doesn't, a bank.
Saving these for the trail.
Yeah, they're stocking you up with health. So you know things are going to be ugly.
Better hope that you...
Hi.
By the radiant sun, I can't believe it.
Still on computer job?
I thought that evil
kinda, yeah.
would grind you up.
I mean, I'm a marketing guy, but I still do a lot of stuff
After
with
that
computers.
miracle, all we can do is wait. Vanasha will be here soon, along with a boat that'll take the royals across the lake.
And now we wait.
Ah, little huntress. Glad you accepted my invitation to play bodyguard. Where are your manhood, Eve? It looks like something chewed you up and spat you out.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
The way is clear. Can we go?
I like how you always cut to the chase. In this case, literally. It won't be long before you're
The
followed.
abs on this chick.
Don't be afraid, Your Radiance. We've got excellent protection.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Considering the past 16 months didn't have anything. So, I started a job back in July.
Oh dear. Here come the Shadow Carter, and they're very angry with me.
I'll hold them off.
Very noble of you, but when I start a fuss, I like to finish it. Not that your assistant isn't welcome. Huadiv, get Idaman and his mother to the shore. Carefully. So it comes to this.
Yes.
I must say, after 2 years under the heel of these zealots, I'm ready to extract a little blood.
On a second, we are going to change weapons here. I want that.
Some traps would be nice. Shall we prepare a little surprise for them?
Yep, I'm working on it.
Are you sure you don't have any traps, little huntress?
I'm working on it, woman. Leave me alone.
Helps to be prepared.
Take cover up there, behind that rock.
Here they are. Let's make it hurt, shall we?
Just wait. Dead.
So they woke up.
Well,
Dead.
that was entertaining, but I suspect we're not done. More of the bastards. Get ready.
I am ready. Don't worry.
No shame in using their blind spot to our advantage. Well now, seems I worked up a bit of a sweat. I don't want to jinx it.
All right, man.
But we might be
Have a
in the
good
clear.
evening.
A bit late, aren't we, gentlemen?
Sorry, ma'am. The boat's waiting.
Oh, wait a
Damn,
minute.
I spoke too
Here it
soon.
comes.
This one's mine. Get to the boat.
You know, this time I think I might be out of my league. If anything happens to her, I will be very cross.
We're not going anywhere.
You might regret that. Oh, good. It's another Thunderjaw. Yet. shut off. There it is, way the hell over there. Shit, that didn't even kill him? Come on. Oh, fucking hell, really? Come on. Bring the sickness thing. There we go. Yeah, Thunderjaws in general are not pleasant. Corrupted Thunderjaws are worse.
Hello?
Because they're a lot tougher, they're a lot meaner, if you can imagine. They have more health, they do more damage. So all in all, corrupted whatever they are, no bueno. I didn't use some of those traps, so I can at least pick them back up. Oh, I guess I only didn't use one of them. Well. Alright, I think I've cleared the field. Let's get the hell out of here. That was 12:15. Been going at this for about 2.5 hours. Go.
Not exactly a royal barge, is it? Oh well, defectors can't be choosers. Let's get aboard, shall we?
Well, I'll be damned. We made it. We lived.
You've done a good thing. Maybe even ended a war.
Maybe. But my war just keeps going.
Very cinematic. We photo mode here. I can. Oh, I can't make any changes to it, though, because I'm in a cinematic. Okay. Would have been nice to sit there and be able to pan around.
Edaman, my brother, welcome home. You have nothing to fear. You are now under the protection of the Sundom. My protection. As is your mother, she will not be harmed. You have my word, the law of the sun. Aloy, it seems I see your influence everywhere. You've done so much for the Sundom, and it will always be appreciated. You have my thanks. May you walk in the light.
Appalling. I spent 2 years in the Forbidden West setting this up, and the redhead gets all the credit?
I'm still getting paid, right?
You'll be lucky if I let you live. I couldn't have done this without you. When we meet again, I'll give you a proper thanks. I promise.
Proper thanks.
Buy what you need, leave the rest.
Only the finest goods.
Unbelievable. Don't forget. Won't find better wares.
Alright, weapons. Anything we don't have? I got one of those already, though. Don't have one of those. I do now. Never had any real use for that, so I'm not going to buy that. Times 12:18. Let's. Oh wait a minute. I was going to sell.
Just because he failed to kill the Sun King doesn't mean he's any less guilty. He should pay.
Is that really all you have? It won't do it all.
Alright, so where are we? In regards to where we need to go. I don't have anything closer than this? Ick. Well, that's where we'll go. Alright, so we've got a little bit of time yet. So I think what we'll do is we will go do this one last mission area before the end of the game. So where we are, we're getting close to like the final battle. So the last time I played this, I went through, did the entire normal game. Then, hey puppy, I did the entire normal game. Then I went through and did the DLC. I was later informed that if you do the DLC before you do the final battle, much like we've been saying, you make choices, the game plays differently, there are folks that you will meet in the DLC that show up in the final game, or in the final battle. So I think that's where... I think that's what I want to end up doing. Is I want to go and do that before I do the final battle.
These will keep.
And again, if my nodding no didn't answer your question, no, I have not tried any of the reshade filters or anything on this. I thought it looked, honestly, I thought it looked really good as is. It didn't necessarily require any rework. That's just me personally. And this is an opportunity for us to sit there and pick up herbs. Quick save. All sorts of robots and whatnot down there. Now, can I get close enough to this guy without him seeing me? Yes, I can. Fine now.
Dawn breaking. Every time's different. Flintlock's looking for scrap.
Get alone, little doggy. Smoking Man, how are you? Oh, Jesus, there's a thunder jaw up there. I don't necessarily want to go screw with that guy. We go this way. So, Smoke, what's a good word, my man? How's everything going? We've had quite the list of cast of characters that have come through tonight. Hop in here so I can... Wow, really? You're an ass. Oh, geez, they're shooting at me. So, Smoke, I gotta ask, were any of the things that I gave you on your list actually on sale yesterday and today for Prime Day? Or the day before yesterday and today? Figures. Of course they're not. So things that you absolutely...
The way to the mountain will be hard. Ferocious machines prowl every step of the climb.
More corrupted?
Not corrupted.
No.
But they will not tolerate humans.
So what else is new?
Really, what was the issue?
Stalkers in the open. Watchers on the other side.
That's not good. Well, that's one way to sit there and solve the problem. And everything is now completely working fine. Yeah! 100% fixed.
You're not gonna be the one to stop me.
One down. Usually those are a bit of a pain in the ass. Get out of this. Ow.
Lights down.
I know you don't like these. Take a couple of those. Who's still shooting at me? You are. You missed me. I didn't miss you.
Just stay out of their way for now.
Alright, let me catch up. Honestly, her board had virtually zero upgrade potential, so it was something that would have been done sooner or later. It was on Intel. Yeah, did you put her on Ryzen, or did you, what did you end up doing? X5 Gaming. Ow! I don't think you gotta understand though. Pix doesn't need something that hardcore. I will say though that their demo. The demo that they did of the 5000 series was rather spectacular. Ah. I'm not worrying about Delta at this point. That's true. X570 is going to allow you to sit there and do the 5000 series if you want. Because that's what you're running too, isn't it? You've got a 5000 or 500 series motherboard. Yeah,
Do they
until he
think they're
starts
fighting
trying.
back?
Until he starts
I
trying to.
doubt they think at all. More like an instinct, gathering them to her grave.
Okay, Aloy, now what?
Bloody hell! One of those. Alright, get us out of here. Oh shit, there's another one. I didn't realize there were so many of them. There's a ton of shit here. Quit shooting at me, asshole. No, that's not what you do. I should do that. You. What else we got? Ah, you. There you go. Bad? Yeah. I didn't quite realize exactly how many of those things were out there. There were quite a few machines out there that I didn't see. What I get for rushing into it. Yes, most definitely balls to the walls there. That was kind of a holy shit, I don't know if I'm going to survive this kind of a thing. Because there were so many of them. They had a couple of nasty ones.
Can't be too prepared.
I mean, he did sit there and say, there are going to be enemies out there that want to kill you. Oh, the weather really turned.
Wide as well. That fog got dark.
jumping on the cyberpunk bandwagon? I don't know yet. So I have the new Watch Dogs, but I haven't purchased, I have not purchased Cyberpunk yet. I don't know. We'll see. I've got lots of stuff going. That could be a Christmas present that I ask for. Oh, shit.
I'm almost...
Weapons.
Correct.
No. That's not what I want. Don't really need any of that because it doesn't do any tear. If you're loving it, brings me back to my old X-Wing versus TIE Fighter days. Dude. So tell me about Star Wars Squadrons. I know that there is a Star Wars game out there right now. I don't know anything about it.
face guard you've got, Gaia.
That definitely makes that fight way easier if you sit there and you tie him down. Because I used to do that, and you'd sit there and duck, dip, dive, dodge, all that other crap. Now you just sit there and just tie it down, and he can't go anywhere. And half of the crap that they make you do, or dodge, isn't there anymore. Okay, so now, have we finished everything? Because that sucked. Got to be close to the summit at this point. Fight it like a real man? No, I'm going to fight it like a woman, and Aloy's going to be smart about it. Makes it way easier to sit there and kill it. So why would I sit there and struggle when I can just sit there and tie it down, and it'll be like Friday nights. Wait a minute, did I say that out loud? Alright. Hopefully, that's the end of the shit that they want us to sit there and fight. How they'll get up there. Oh, there's a way. I think this is called the Frozen North. There's an actual DLC called The Frozen North.
Guy's sacrifice. It did this. Cracked the inside of the mountain like it was an egg.
Yes, yes. Quickly now. I've prepared the way ahead for you.
So you've been in here before?
To a point. You'll see.
Okay, so there's one thing in here that we absolutely need to get while we're here tonight. So aside from
You made a climbing path for me, but left an army of machines for me to deal with?
Since when were machines any obstacle for you? If you could fly, I wouldn't have bothered with the climbing path either.
Yep. Zavala's out here telling her what to do.
Don't look down. Don't look down.
It is. It's the same voice actor.
This is exactly the kind of place I expected to find you in, Silence.
Thank you. It's one of many workshops I've constructed over the years.
Alright, Smoke. Have a good evening. Thank you for stopping by.
For years, I tried to get through this hatch. I drilled, I burned, I blasted. But we both know that you won't have any trouble getting through.
You make it sound like I should apologize.
Not at all. It never occurred to me that the way through would not be with force, but with a key. A key in human form. The failure of imagination was mine, not yours.
So, when did you come here?
Looks like you've spent a lot of time here.
19 years ago, a great explosion destroyed this mountain. Gaia's death, your birth. The echo could be heard as far as the claim. Ash darkened the skies. How they fretted in Meridian as they tried to read this omen. The crater burned for weeks, but when it cooled, I was the first to behold what lay within. Over time, The machines closed ranks to protect it. Useful. Soon, no one dared to come here. Except me.
So we're gonna try to repair her, right?
In her message, Gaia said we could restore her, but after seeing the damage, how could that be?
She said any effort to repair her must come after Hades is destroyed. I concur. Rebuilding the terraforming system now might allow Hades to use it as a weapon. Because of Gaia's sacrifice, it has been forced to search for means that are less convenient.
But do you think it's even possible to restore Gaia?
You know what the Cauldrons are capable of. How they fabricate any technology necessary to create a machine. By the same principle, it should be possible to replicate every technology necessary to repair Gaia. But that would take years. And we're counting the time we have left by the hour.
Okay. Hold on, be right back. second. I'm waiting for the dog to come back. Okay. Where were we?
I thought you might actually be here this time. Actually, here.
Why? My presence is unnecessary. You don't need my help to pass through this door. You were the one born to do this, not me.
Alright, we're going in.
It's time for me to head in.
Yes. When you find the Master Override, you will gain the power to defeat Hades. Everything depends on you. Yes?
I need to get going.
Alright, I guess I can't do anything from this specific area.
Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are clear to proceed.
I know I am.
Logging arrivals. Shan Margot.
Welcome to Frozen Hell. Population 10.
11 counting
Mind your
Gaia.
city. Don't count your chicken embryos before they're incubated, hon. She's still firing up. Be a while before you eat that omelet.
I'm vegan, Travis. You think we'd worked in the same secret base long enough for you to notice?
We weren't scheduled to shack up here for another 3 weeks. You realize I just lost 350 kilos of pre-code smut comics in transit.
Wait, actual physical media? Why didn't you have it digitized?
Can't beat the feel of physical media on your fingers. And in here, we ain't gonna be touching a whole lot else. Figured I was gonna pass the time archiving them. What about you?
Me? Work, I guess. My task queue stretches out for like 3 years. There's a lot of sharp edges to round off. After that, I hadn't really thought about it.
Oh, you will. You're what, 30? Reckon you'll be the one turning the lights off at the end. Food for thought, huh, vegan?
This sucks forever.
Nah, not forever. Just the rest of your life.
Now, if I remember, there's one thing we need to get in here, and I forget where it is. There it is.
This should be the last power cell I need to get to that
That's
ancient
what we
armor I
needed.
found. Guess that's my way across. It's, held like this for 19 years, right?
Well...
Don't answer.
His print media rocks. In regards to books, yeah. I don't think I've ever actually listened to an audiobook.
Glad that's over.
I've only ever read books. I've never actually done an audiobook.
This must have been where they lived. What's left of it. Once this was all enclosed by rock and metal.
Record. I just woke up. I see the numbers, but can't make out the time. I was dreaming of... I was giving a lecture in Q Hall. Maybe it was something more shamanistic. I don't know. An audience of shadowy faces under a blank open sky. I told them the world ended with a bang. A plague of robots. But the last humans. We went out, not with a whimper, but a whisper. You know, in caves, ending like we started, huddled around a flickering glow. The heads of state, the Fortune 5s, the leaders, and lottery winners, and life cults, all of them buried in their little shelters. Some believing they'll live it out some way, somehow, or Elysium, or us here at Gaia Prime, no different. A multitude of tiny societies taking hold, flaring, dying. Some will be beautiful, some horrific, and none of them matter. Short-term civilizations. One last gasp. One last gasp before the long-held breath. Before I wake up, I know the audience is gone. I'm talking to myself. To a quiet planet, a barren sphere. Just Gaia. And her long, long dreaming. I hope she won't be lonely.
Evacuation happened so fast. No time to think things through. No time for goodbyes. There were lines in the medical ward. I told Tom Pake I'd be with him when he went under. But there was one last shipment of Paradiseidae zygotes I could get processed if I rushed. I'm still angry at him for forcing me to choose. Angry at myself for... Well, he died alone. And I didn't get the bloody birds of paradise saved either. All the time left in the world now to think. Gaia Prime's logs are sealed. Elysium sealed up, safe and sound. A distance of miles, but it might as well be on the other side of the galaxy.
Elizabeth's room. I know it. She didn't even get a chance to unpack. These are her journals. Elizabeth's journals. And they're all destroyed?
Scan them. The Focus can rebuild them, but the process is slow. To us, it seems a powerful device, but its engine is tiny and limited.
How slow?
Days, weeks, years. Concern yourself with stopping Hades and extending the future, and you might live long enough to hear them.
Elizabeth. What is this?
This is Charles Ronson. I'm logging this 6 hours after final deployment of Gaia Prime. This morning, an access port seal malfunctioned. Gaia Prime's port seals were designed to close with a seam of less than 2 millimeters. But this one closed with a 10 millimeter gap. Enough for an energy signature to bleed through. Enough for the swarm to detect this facility. Enough for Gaia to be discovered and destroyed. Enough to end the future we worked so hard to make possible. Unless the hatch servos were manually re-engaged.
From the outside.
From the outside. I'm now switching to a recording of the event.
Well, I'm not going out there. Not what I signed up for.
Either we send someone out, or all of this was for nothing.
It should be Liz's decision.
So when is she going to get here?
She said 5 minutes. You don't think...
Oh no. Okay, everyone. I've repaired the seal. Gaia?
Seal closure at 1.4 millimeters. Confirmed.
Elizabeth, no. We'll find a way to bring you back in.
It's not gonna happen. The swarm's too close. Really. It's alright. Gaia's complete. She'll take care of things from here on out. That's what she does.
Not like this. There's so much we...
Guys, you know me. I'm no good at endings. At letting things end, so, let's not.
So... happy trails, Liz. And, see you around.
Yeah. Take care of each other, alright?
Liz.
I'm okay with this. I want to go home. Goodbye.
Crap.
That was the last transmission of Elizabeth Sobek. She gave everything for the hope of life on this planet. And we are all in her debt.
Aloy?
She's gone.
Of course she's gone. 900 years ago.
Gone.
You knew she couldn't have survived, Aloy. And her achievements were beyond exceptional.
While her people bickered, she was the one who took responsibility. The only one who could.
She was better than them.
That's not what I said.
She was. You shouldn't be afraid to admit it.
Can't you just for one moment stop calculating and let yourself feel? She sacrificed herself for her friends, for the future, for life on Earth. Doesn't that stir anything in you? The generosity of it.
You're trying to invest her decision with something magical. It was a rational choice, not based on sentimentality.
You're wrong. Remember, she knew it wasn't enough for Gaia to think. She taught Gaia to feel. To care, to sacrifice, to believe in life. Enough to fight against hopelessness. If it wasn't for that sentimentality, life would have ended. You and I would never have existed.
Your argument is sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for your loss.
She said she wanted to go home. Maybe.
What?
Nothing. It's time to go on.
Hmm.
Look, Liz. You're a pretty stand-up gal. I'm sorry you died. If you had a home to go to, I hope you got there first. But this monument Ronson's made to you? Kinda creepy if you ask me. Rest in peace, Liz. God knows you earned it.
Right open. Let me in. Right open. Let me in. What you got? Anything else in here? No, there we go.
All right. Let's start over from Eleuthia 1.
Running integrity tests. Dr. Brochard Klein. May I speak outside protocol?
I suppose so. There's no one to stop you.
Doctor, you are fatigued. You have been logging abnormal sleep cycles. Are you suffering from depression?
Well, I am trapped in a science facility for the rest of my life. How about you?
In a time slice of a quadrillion operating cycles, 10,000 are involved with processing the loss of Dr. Sobek. I have considered quarantining these processes. Do you think that would be wise?
I'm not a psychologist, Gaia, or an AI scientist. No. It is natural. At least in the context of the work you and I have accomplished, which begs the meaning of the term natural. She was your creator, the patron saint of this crazy endeavor. Our Lady of the Fervent Hypothetical.
Even assuming a string of significant failure combinations, Zero Dawn's chances of success are greater than the hypothetical.
It's called a manner of speech, Gaia. Take a note.
Okay, so we're picking up all this lore, we're picking up all this stuff. I'll eventually go back and read it all. All I gotta say is I hope when we get to the future that not all of the displays and everything are purple, because that just drives me nuts.
What are we gonna plug into their heads, Les? A whole lot of history? A whole lot of so-called truth? A whole lot of noise? It's not pablum, Les. It's poison.
There's another section at the back of the crater. Looks like it survived the blast.
Because it was armored. You found the control room.
I'm on my way.
Up we go.
I've been taking a hard look at the project. In the end, it's simple. It's clean. It's clear. Erasure. Addition. By. Subtraction. I can make it better, Liz. With a single stroke. Make it all go away.
I really don't like the direction this is going.
Continue.
So, Ted Faro is the guy that his company was the one that built all of the AI robots that went nuts. That's why they call it the Faro Plague. Oh, Ashlyn, I have played this game and almost 100% in it. So yes, I am very familiar with it. One of my favorite ones. So when it came to PC, I was like, I gotta play it again.
When I opened the hatch, the air rushed in from this side.
Because there was none inside the chamber.
But the Alphas were in there.
I'm locked out of core control. Alpha clearance overridden. What the hell is Omega clearance?
Oh no.
Alpha personnel. Sorry to alarm you,
But I need you to listen, okay? To what I'm about to say. This isn't easy. See, please, stop trying to access the system, okay? See, what this is about is, I said stop trying to access the goddamn system. What I'm trying to say is, I can't stop thinking about the ones who come after us. Those innocents. Those blameless men and women. We're gonna give them knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a gift?
Ted. We've talked about this before. Apollo has 3,000 plus fail-safe conditions.
It's not a gift, it's a disease. They're the cure, and we're gonna give them the disease. Our disease? No, we can't. And it's not too late. If we're willing to sacrifice.
Ted, it doesn't need to be like this.
It already is, Samina. I did it 3 minutes ago. I've purged Apollo. It's gone. All of it. Every copy.
A sacrifice? It's not a sacrifice. It's cultural obliteration, you crazy bastard. Millennia of culture.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. But sometimes, to protect innocence, innocents have to die.
Emergency alert. Planting atmosphere.
Wow. Kaz, you have no idea. He was the guy that, as I said, he was the guy that whose robots obliterated the Earth. He funded all of this because because Elizabeth was just like, this is the only way, do it. So what he did was, Apollo was, if you remember when we were inside Mother's heart, Apollo was the first day of school program. So if you remember, Gaia had subservient programs around her. Apollo was the one that was supposed to teach everybody. So how to, like, they had cataloged all art, culture, science, all of this other stuff. That's what Apollo was. He decided, as you can just see, that giving all of that knowledge to people was a bad idea. So that's why, instead of when everybody came out from the cradles and everything, instead of having all of that knowledge, that's why we're back in tribal time. That's why we're at this level of technology again, was because he went through and deleted it. Part of it, I personally think, is it's his way of going, trying to be somewhat blameless in, this isn't my fault. So if I get rid of all the records, then nobody else will know.
He killed them all.
So this is why. This is why we were trapped in benighted ignorance for an innocent future. Blameless men. He never saw the slaughter in the Sun Ring. Everything these people achieved, all the knowledge of the old ones, evaporated, turned to dust, scattered to the void, like the Alphas themselves.
No. Not a void. When the hatch unsealed and scattered their ashes on the wind, it took them out among the world they made. The world we're living in. It's a monument to what they died trying to accomplish.
All right, man. Have a good evening. As soon as we get done with this, I'm heading to bed as well. So thank you for hanging out as much as you did tonight. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend.
The Master Override. It's so small.
Now all you have to do is kill Hades with it.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not too far off behind you, but I want to get. I needed to get past that point in order to kind of move on. There.
Sound good?
Try not to fall to your death.
Yeah.
The master override doesn't override gravity.
Thanks. Dickhead. Back to his little workshop here. They're here.
Here?
For a moment.
What?
Our journey together has come to an end, Aloy. But before I go, I think I owe it to you to tell you the rest of the story.
Go on.
Some time ago, I admitted that I'd been involved with the eclipse. But I never told you the full extent of my culpability. The truth is, I was there at the beginning. I found Hades, Aloy, buried on that mountain, trapped in that shattered titan. And I served it.
What?
It promised knowledge and delivered. Such knowledge, you have no idea.
And in exchange?
I helped create the eclipse. Helped it build a cult, an army to do its will.
Why are you telling me this now?
Because your success depends on knowing this. When I found Hades, the first thing it wanted to know about was the Spire. Not Meridian. The Spire. Now why would that be?
The Spire was created by Gaia.
Which part of Gaia?
Minerva. It's code-breaking module. Gaia built spires to transmit the codes that deactivated the Pharaoh robots, shut down their biomatter conversion systems. Hades wants to send a new transmission. To wake the machines, so they can devour the world all over again.
Yes. Based on what we've learned, that's my conclusion as well.
So the Eclipse, the robots they've resurrected, they're just a means to an end. An army to capture the Spire.
Yes. So Hades can exterminate life all over again. Unless you stop it.
Yeah, okay. So no, I don't think Pharaoh is still alive. I mean, everybody is dead. They would have run out of food. I mean, we're 900 plus years after everything. We did the math. So it was 2064 when all of this kind of when Zero Dawn kind of happened. There was a point during one of the playthroughs, they're like, you are 350 some odd thousand minutes or whatever late. We did the math, and we're 970 years past, so we are in the 3000.
I want you to tell me everything. Hades, the Eclipse, everything.
So he way dead.
It's a long story, Aloy.
Then get started.
It began with a focus, recovered from an ancient ruin, as yours was so many years ago. In my case, the device was heavily damaged. There was just a flicker of life in it. I spent weeks studying it, attempting repairs, until finally, I succeeded. A whole new dimension of perception revealed, right before my eyes. That's when I detected it. A faint signal. Out there, something was searching, just like I was.
A real kindred spirit.
Did we get into a fight with the Cabal on Mars?
Source. A shattered titan, buried in the jungles of the Jewel.
Tell me more.
So you thought it was a titan? An old war machine?
I didn't know what to think. I'd seen such wreckage before. The Grave Horde, for example. But this was different. This was not quite dead. It couldn't speak when I found it, until my repairs gave it a voice. So began an exchange of knowledge. It wanted to know everything about our world, its tribes and machines. But the Spire was always its foremost concern.
What about the Spire?
What did it want to know about the Spire?
Its precise location, the surrounding geography, who controlled the land. Meanwhile, Hades revealed to me many of the intricacies of ancient technology. It bid me to recover and repair more focuses. Before long, I had a couple dozen up and running.
Enough to equip a small army.
The commanders of one, anyway. I didn't care. I was learning so much. Physics, calculus. You have no idea.
Why the Karja?
And the Shadow Karja? How did they become involved?
The Karja Civil War was a happy coincidence. A perfect opportunity.
An opportunity? That's what it was to you?
This guy.
Yes. Overnight, half the tribe was in exile, desperate to win back Holy Meridian. Their religion made them easy to manipulate. All I had to do was present Hades as the buried shadow of their mythology. So yes, it was an opportunity. I arranged for High Priest Bahavas to meet with Hades. Helis was there as well. And so the eclipse was born. Anything to win back Holy Meridian.
Uh-huh. Neither of you really care, to be honest.
But Hades didn't care about Meridian. And neither did you.
We live in a world of fallen cities and vanished tribes. What were a few more? Besides, I was too busy setting up the cult's focus network to Hades' specifications. A thrilling technical challenge, especially with the alterations I included of my own design.
The ability for you to spy on them.
Yes. I may have been foolish enough to serve Hades, but I was never so foolish that I trusted it. I installed what the ancients used to call a back door in the network. Secret access, empowering me to monitor all activity and communications.
So, he looks like the hotel guy from John Wick. So why did you betray him? Like, why go through this whole thing?
What made you turn on Hades? It certainly wasn't your conscience.
Actually, I was troubled the first time I saw the Eclipse raise an ancient war robot. With my technology. I questioned Hades about its intentions.
A little late.
And?
Indeed. I'd already outlived my usefulness. When I completed work on the Focus Network, Hades summoned me to receive my reward. The next moment, I heard it broadcast my kill order. I've been a fugitive ever since.
So when did you find out about me?
So when did I come into this? Our path together?
When Olin stumbled on you. System threat detected. That got my attention. A kill order against a savage Nora girl? Why would Hades bother with that? But then I saw that this Nora girl was wearing a focus, and bore an uncanny resemblance to a great scientist of the old world. Helis moved quickly. I thought you were dead. But then I detected your focus, inside the Nora mountain. The more I observed you, the more convinced I became of your extraordinary nature. And usefulness.
Usefulness, yeah.
Through you, I could finally discover the secrets of the Earth. I vowed to do everything I could to ensure your success. The rest as they used to say, is history.
Uh-huh.
The things you've done in the pursuit of knowledge, Silence. Pure recklessness.
Aloy, this wasn't a confession to elicit your judgment.
Really? You're a dick.
I've done all I can. From here on out, the rest is up to you. Take my lance. Fit the master override to it, and you have a means of injection.
Then I just need to get close enough to Hades' skull to stab it in?
Exactly.
Oh, no problem. Silence.
Bye.
Where will you go?
Elsewhere. And everywhere. There's so much more to discover before the world ends.
And all this?
I leave it to you, of course. As it turned out, it was yours all along. I was merely trespassing.
I want to know how the Banuk sit there and weave that shit into their arms and skull and face. Yeah. Oh, new lance. I know, it just looks painful. Oh, I've got points to spend. I forgot.
I traveled far to find you. I heard your transmission. It was you, wasn't it? Entity is not known.
I have to tell Avad that the Eclipse are ready to strike.
You are.
After what happened with Deval, I know he'll defend the city.
It wasn't something you wanted.
But the Spire...
You called, I responded. Will you tell me your name? Hades. You are a creation of the ancients. A war machine. Divine timeline. Time? Ah. It is the 13th king of the Karja Saddam's reign. Divine Karja. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Were you created by the ancients? I wonder how long you waited here, buried, until I chanced upon you. How long you'd have to wait for another. You're obviously very powerful, but you're not going to get anywhere without me. Titan Flame merely houses intellect. Divine Karja. Now that's more like it.
Yeah. Bad news. Alright, let's go find a point close to where we need to go. That. How many evil fuckers are in this thing? So Hades was, remember, there were 6 or 8 AI that were controlled by Gaia. Hades was one of them. There were several of them. Modify weapons. Oh, you know what? I remember where I want to go. I remember where I want to go. We're gonna do one more thing and then we're gonna call it for the night. We're gonna go get the Uber armor. So, Uber armor. So, the thing is that you find this place very early on in the game, but you don't get all of the stuff that you need for it until very late in the game. You know, obviously, you know, to sit there and kind of keep you going. You're gonna get Uber armor. As I said, you find this very early on, but you don't get the items to unlock everything until way late. Go that way. Gotta go that way. You get enough to sit there and unlock one of the doors, and you're like, "This is awesome! We can get in there now."
Those clamps have the armor locked in place.
Then
Maybe
you
there's
gotta
a
sit
way
there
to
and do
power up the
more.
mechanism, release the clamps. Just one more. There we go. The last one. All powered up. These numbers. They must be related to segments of a circle.
Was I playing this a few days ago? I don't think so. I mean, it is... I've been here before. 1 second. That's it. Right. Left. Up. Right. Left.
Did it. Let's have a look at that armor inside. All right. Now let's see what we can do with this material.
Ultra weave armor. Come to daddy. Jesus, I have a lot of stuff in there, don't I? I guess I lost track of how many of these I actually had. There we go. So, I have shields. It doesn't make me completely indestructible, but it's pretty damn close. Now, we will just fast travel, we will save, and then that will be it for the night. Because we have been going for almost 4 hours, so a pretty long stream tonight. Now, I adore that game. I really do. I really adore that game. So being able to play that, I've been focusing a lot on Destiny just because there's a lot of stuff that's going away within the next month. So I've been trying to kind of push through and that. But I wanted to take a step back from Destiny because I know some folks were just like not a big fan of Destiny, whatnot, and I wanted to finish. I wanted to get in here and kind of finish this. So let's may still be around. Hi, kitty. Buddy. Panda pet you. Okay, let's see who's on. Happy to learn and watch and learn quality games. This is a great game. Unfortunately, you did not get an opportunity to kind of explore or like experience this the first time like I did. It really is something like when you go through and if you don't know anything about the game and you learn the lore as it goes, it's really kind of like a holy shit moment. You know, because it's such a new IP, it's such a new idea, and how much thought they put into it. So it's definitely kind of experiencing it yourself. You're just like, whoa. You know, you go from this girl that's just an outcast to savior of humanity again. So that journey is really kind of something. Alright, so let's see. Who's on? I don't really have anybody on, so we may just call it for the night. So, I appreciate that, Raven. I didn't even know you were still here. I figured you'd have gone to bed. Most of the stuff I need is this stuff like, just ask soon. I hear ya. So let's see. Tomorrow night, I think we're gonna try to do the Garden of Salvation raid, so I will probably end up streaming that. Saturday night will be more this, unless we don't finish the raid. If we don't finish the raid, we'll be back doing more Destiny. Otherwise, it'll be Tuesday. Speaking of Tuesday, I apologize. I kind of skipped doing streaming on Tuesday, and I forgot to post about it. I ended up just playing Destiny with some folks, and just like I forgot, honestly. So we'll be back. So tomorrow night, like I said, probably around 9 Eastern time is going to be Destiny, and then Saturday, depending on how well we do at the raid, we'll either carry that over or not. Sunday plans? Cool. So do I, actually. So, anybody that is still out there, thank you for coming and hanging out tonight. I do appreciate it. You know, enjoy the rest of your week. Have a very productive Friday. Have a great weekend if I don't see you. Remember to stay safe, wash those hands, be well. And as I said, I will see you all tomorrow night, 9-ish or so for Destiny Raid. So it's going to be Garden of Salvation. So have a great night, guys.